First thing, Trump called it Liberation Day. So that was interesting. And if any of you caught the speech, which I'm sure you all did, he said that on purpose. And this is Liberation Day for a lot of reasons. He also called for a national emergency crisis at the border, at
So
which
he actually used the words Liberation Day.
he used the words Liberation Day. um,
Wow,
Here's the next thing he
those are
said.
really strong words
Oh
because
yeah. And
I mean that.
the
Yeah,
moment he spoke national emergency crisis at the border, guess what happened? Border Patrol closed up the border and videos were populating of, women and children crying and all this stuff and all the narrative that all these channels they wanted to leave his speech and show something else. And well, they're going to throw the narrative that they want to throw, but Trump has often used, he said, hey, I, uh, families can stay, but there are certain people that can't. So I don't want to separate the families. And so if the
yeah.
family wants to stay and kick out the dad who has violent tendencies or has a history of violence or came out of a prison, then the family can decide to send dad back and leave the family. But I'm not going to separate the families. That's the whole thing that Trump was saying, that he's not going to separate families, but he's definitely going to kick people out. Absolutely, and he's going to start with the
and
worst.
and bring and bring a lot of people in because I got a message yesterday from a
Hmm.
Palestinian friend of mine
Okay.
who happens to be from Canada,
Okay.
and he said congratulations on your new president, and I said, well, congratulations on yours. And we
Exactly.
both ha ha ha, but underneath there we're very very serious about it. I mean,
Hmm.
Mexico, like it or not, is the United States of Mexico. Okay, it's the United States of Mexico, and the plan has always been to have the United States of Europe, the United States of Asia, the United States of South America, and all of this because we, under what the new presidential acts have been. Okay. The new actions, the executive orders that were signed. I asked my friend, my Palestinian friend from Canada, I said, what'd you think about that? So, well, I agree with everything that was written there because if I was president, I would do the same thing. And I said, Eureka. Like, it's like, wow, wow, America, wow, everyone. And Bo, that back to the border, why is it that they had to take why did we have to have a man in the seat to do something as common sense as say we need to have protection at our border to make sure that our kids aren't getting harmed? Like, how? And those people that work at the border, I love you, but shame on you that you couldn't have done that on your own anyways, and why you're taking orders from the wrong people
Trump,
and you got to
I don't know if
wait.
this was I don't know if this was one of his executive orders, but he did say that he is going to bring back common sense in this nation. This is going to be a
Jesus.
common sense.
Woo!
Yeah.
God bless America. Common sense is back, and it
Now
has
wait.
to be by presidential decree, or people
Right.
just don't get it. Come on, America,
I
get
know.
the
I
common
know.
sense. And
Yep.
you got to have it when Trump's president or any other, like, even when the idiots, if
Hmm.
they ever come back to power,
Right. Yep.
it doesn't. I'm so grateful that this is happening, but
Yep.
at the same time, we all see that you could have done it before. So just
Well, hold
continue
on. So
forever.
here's the crazy thing. I mean, there are things that certain people have had limits on because of the current system at which the state of not just the United States corporation, but the state of the world was in. And I heard this, and this honestly was from a Fox correspondent yesterday. He said, if Trump would have had an additional 4 years, would enough people been awake to be more prepared for what's going to take place in the next 4 years? And I don't know if he knew what he was trying to say, uh,
Yeah.
if he knew exactly what he was saying, but he was spot on. Because think about if 2020 would have rolled right into Trump, we would be at 2024 or 2025 now. in a different inauguration, and who
Well,
knows.
absolutely, they had to show the
Yep.
dark side, really how bad it could
Exactly.
be.
And maybe that's what needed to happen in order for us to get to this space, so that Trump said within the next 100 days everything's going to change. Within the next 100
Well, I
days,
mean,
those are
that's what
his
he said
words.
in the very beginning in 2020 was, well, it can't get any worse, it can't get worse with me. And of course it
Right.
got better. And then he showed you how worse it
Hmm.
could be.
Exactly.
And,
Yep.
God showed us how worse it could be. But at the end
Right.
of the day, guys, we have to remember this, that order takers are more morally culpable than the order givers. So Trump's
Yep.
here giving orders by the grace of God, and we're thankful for that on probably 99.9% of all the decisions that have been made there.
Yep.
However, those in the power of being an order taker, you also have power, and that's to choose to do what's right or choose to do what's
Right.
wrong. And doing things like protecting our border from bad people. And when you see bad things happening, to stop it,
Mm.
regardless of the order, you have to do that, and that's where more of us and more of everyone, because we're all in the American military, we're all in selective service, almost all the men here,
Mhm.
um, have been registered, which means we're property of, and
Mhm.
we're property of this great nation. So more of us have to take that into our own hands. And I'm grateful that there's finally some good orders, and there's a good order taker or a good order giver at the top of the chain of command. However, we have to be cognizant and we have to really make the choice when we're choosing to enforce those orders and do it in a way that doesn't harm the other. And you're
Mhm.
right. So when you bring up not separating the family, yeah, why would we have to harm someone if they're not doing something bad to our country? If they're coming here and they're going to do something great because they're
That's right.
really smart computer programmers, or they're really
Yep.
good at picking strawberries and we don't have anybody to pick strawberries, welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. Like,
Mhm.
there's so many things that we can do, and we do it without harm. Like, there would be no reason to harm a family, to harm anyone. And that's where these order takers have to be more, they're more on the hook than anyone in this whole thing. So those who are in the position to enforce the orders, now is the time, and how you enforce them is the answer. Meaning,
Mhm.
you have to do it without harm. You have to do it with love, and you have to do it to make all of us great for the greater good. It has to be in the
That's right.
benefit of all, or
That's
there's
right.
absolutely no point.
And Trump
Absolutely.
alluded to that too yesterday. He said that it was the people are choosing, the people's decision, and Trump is just siding with the people.